Hello, and a good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening to you all, the good and wonderful people of the tube. Hope well today, hope you're feeling grand, and always when you world. Hello there, everybody. Today's vid, people of the tube, is all about how to set up your Stratocasters Tremolo. I had a guy comment quite a while back now. Like I say, I like to jump on these things straight away when they come up. Asking if I could do a video on, like, how to set up a Strat Trem. So here we are today, people of the tube. So before we get going with talking about how to do this and other, because in all fairness, it's very easy. And experimentation is the key here. To me, the Strat Tremolo has three positions. There's floating, there's locked, there's on the body, and there's locked off. That's the three positions. So basically what I mean by floating is where the tremolo, that's the body of the guitar, is up like that. So it can go up, it can go back, or it can go down. So you get that kind of like Dave Gilmour, Jeff Beck kind of shimmer or craziness. You get that synchronized trem thing that Leo initially designed it to do. That's the floating one. Position 2, which is my favourite, where it's just flat to the body. So basically, instead of like being like that, it's now like that, flat onto the body. So it means you can only dive bomb. The tremolo is still usable, but you can only go down. You can't bring the bar up. You can only go down. And position 3 is locked off. So basically, that means like you put 5 springs in the cavity and screw the claw, all the way in. So basically, well, not all the way in, but pretty far much all the way in, so the trem doesn't move at all. So it basically becomes like a pseudo hardtail. So to find out which one you want, you have to experiment. Again, this is really easy to do, people of the tube. So this won't be a very long video at all. In all fairness, this might be one of the shortest videos I've ever done on this channel. Maybe, you never know, I might get tangenty or waffly. So let me move my tea over there for a sec. So, people of the tube, hopefully you can see this here. This is how I have pretty much all my strats set up. I'll tell you, let me do that. But there we go. That's a better angle. This is pretty much how I have all my strats set up, bar 3. Okay, so I normally have 3 springs in parallel, like that, and I have the claw screwed quite far up, as you can see. You can see the top there. Normally I can get my finger in there, usually. The 62 is slightly different, I'll show you that in a sec. But that's how I have Mr. White, and this is how pretty much like 90% of my guitars look, apart from 3 of them. My ST62 has 5 springs in it and is locked off. That's basically my pseudo hardtail guitar. I don't use the trem in the ST62, my gigging Strat. It's never really wanted to. I do apologise for my phone. It's never really felt right, so I don't use the trem in that. Plus, I broke the arm off in it. My Tokai Gold Star has 5 springs in it, but again, that's decked. So I can only dive bomb that guitar, but that tremolo works really well with 5 springs. It works okay with 3, but it definitely works better with 5. And the other guitar that I use 5 springs in is the Pearly King Oswald, the gorgeous brown ash body one with the rosewood neck. Because again, the tremolo works better with 5. Other than that, all my guitars have 3 springs, all in parallel like this. And again, the claw is screwed up to maybe about a centimetre away from the top of the cavity there. And basically what that gives me the ability to do is only dive bomb. So the tremolo dong is just flat to the body. It can't go back. If I strum it can't go back. See, I'm pulling the guitar up there and it can't go back. All it can do is go down. That is all this tremolo can do. So that's my preferred way of having a tremolo. But again, you need to experiment this thing. So the way to alter how your trem works is these 2 screws here on the claw. Again, I never have back plates on my guitars either. They just get in the way, and I think Strats sound better without them. But that might be my just me being neurotic, but I really do think that without that useless bit of plastic on the back, the guitar actually sounds better and more resonant, and it rings louder. That's just me. Anyway, but basically it's just these two screws here. So the further back the claw is from the top of the cavity, the further back this way, the more your tremolo will float. Be very, very careful not to go too far and unscrew it all the way and everything goes kapow, because that's not good. So you do it in increments. I do it in like half a turn at a time to find where you want it. So, you do that screw half a turn in whichever way you want. If you want the tremolo to float, then you need to screw them back towards the back of the guitar. If you don't want it to float and you want it on the body, you screw them into the guitar. It's very simple. It really is not rocket science at all. It's very, very easy to do. And it shouldn't be something you should be afraid of doing, either. Who's Eva? I don't know. Anyway, it really shouldn't be something you should be afraid of. It's very, very easy. And it's also, again, very important to learn this kind of stuff. Because if I wanted to change this guitar to floating trem, which I have done in the past, there are some times where I've needed Mr. White to float. I've unscrewed these and reset the guitar up that way. So I've got a bit of float in it. But then, basically, once that's done, I screw it back in. And what I do to check it's in the right place is this. So I play the low E string. Well, I put the low E string, and then I bend up the 15th fret on the B string. And what I want to hear is not... I don't want to hear the low E string do this. I don't want it to hear it bow out of tune. I want the low E string, when I bend up this B string, a tone, to stay where it is. So, like this. And again, without the actual played note on the B string, it sounds like this. So you can hear that low E string is going nowhere. And that's what I want. That when my guitar does that, that's where I want the tremolo. And I found that out a long time ago, people of the tube. That was something, again, for experimentation with this guitar. That's what I found out I like on all my... They're coming to get me. On all my guitars. Strats, anyway. I don't like floating trems. I really do not like when the tremolo is off the body and it can go back and down. I really despise the feel of it. It feels really weird to me. So, to me, they're always either on the body, so I can only dive bomb, or they're hardtailed. That's that, and it's as simple as that. There's never really any other way I have it, unless I need it, but I don't really ever need it. And also, people too, if I ever need like a floating trem, I get my Ibanez Gem, and use the Ibanez Gem, because that's got a Floyd. Or my Mockingbird, because they've got Floyds, and I just use them for any kind of like wiggly parts I might need. But it's very simple. It's literally just those two screws in the back of the tremolo cavity, the claw screws. Wind them out for more float. Screw them in to make it more hardtail-y. They are all different. Like I say, the 62 here, you can see how far I have that claw screwed in. And that is the same for all my guitars. All my guitars, the claws are at different places. And again, I do the same thing. When that E string no longer goes boom out of tune, that's when I've got the guitar exactly where I want it. And again, it just gives me the ability to just dive. And then the guitar, to me, then the guitar's got a solid reset point. Because you can get a solid reset point with it floating. I just don't like the way it feels. So the number one thing to do, people tube, is just experiment with those claw screws. You won't hurt the guitar. But again, do it half a turn at a time. Don't go drastic and start cranking on it all the way in or all the way back. You don't want to do that. You just want to do it quarter turn at a time. And just find where you like it the most. Sorry about that, people tube. So, that's it. Like I say, it's very, very easy to do. Like a lot of this stuff, to be honest with you. Doing intonation, string height, truss rods, nuts, setting the tremolo, setting the pickup heights. It's all very, very easy to do once you know how to do it and also get experienced in doing it as well. But the only way you get good at doing it is by doing it. It's the same way as learning the guitar. You know, you're not going to get great at guitar by looking at it. You know, you need to play the thing. So, you know, you need to kind of dive in there and get your hands dirty, so to say. So that's how you set it up. It's just those two screws in the tremolo cavity. Easy as anything. If you want it more flat to the body, screw them in. If you want it a bit more floaty and a lighter tremolo arm, screw them out. Again, only half a turn at a time though. Maybe even quarter a turn at a time. Never go, I'm going to crank on it. It's not going to end well, that isn't. And the last thing you want is the claw to fall out of the guitar while it's under tension. Won't be very pretty. So you don't want that. Anyway, because that's a hell of a lot of tension on that. So, yeah, so that's it. It is literally as easy as anything. And it's all about personal preference. You know, what do you want? Where does it feel the best for you? And like I say, every guitar is different. And again, just to give you an idea of another guitar, this is my Tokai with 5 springs. So, and you can see the claw's quite far out on that one. But the tremolo feels fantastic with 5 springs in it. I had 3 springs in this for quite a while actually, but I've recently put 5 in it, and it feels great. And it still does what I need it to do, but it's flat to the body, and it feels. God, this guitar's ridiculously good. All these guitars are ridiculous, but it feels great. And again, there's more gap there than there is on Mr. White. You know, all my guitars are slightly different. The 62 is probably the one that's screwed in the most. And you find that a lot with vintage guitars, that they I don't know, it's really strange. I think it's because the springs are so old. They're kind of like, you know, they're not as strong. And as the strings weaken, you have to screw the claw in just to maintain the tension. I mean, in an ideal world, I really should replace the screws on the springs on the 62 Strat for newer ones, because that way I could pull the claw out a bit more. But they're what came in the guitar, apart from one which I've took out because it came with 4, but I like 3 better. And it just feels wrong to change them at this point in time until they basically can't hold it anymore. They're staying. Anyway, and there's only 2 of them that are original to the guitar. The one in the middle is not an original spring. It's not an original 60s spring. The left and the right outside ones are, but the one in the middle isn't. And the other one wasn't either. Anyway, that's it. It's as literally as simple as that. There is literally nothing else to it. And again, it's all about experimentation to find what you like. Like I said, I waffle on about that so much, but it's so important to know what you want. You know, it really is. Like, you know, where do you want the trem? You know, where do you want your pickups? You know, within reason and all that kind of thing. So just bear that in mind. But that's it. That's how you set up a Strat tremolo. It's just those 2 claw screws. Screw it out to get more float. Screw it in to get it to the body, and if you want to lock it down, put 5 springs in it, and I've done. Screw it in with 5 springs, and you've basically got a pseudo hardtail. Like I say, my ST62, my gigging Strat, that's locked off. It just feels better. Certain guitars as well will feel better with like that. I've got some Strats that I don't use the trem on at all, and they are locked off. But invariably, 90% of them are like this. They're just flat to the body, 3 springs in parallel in the back, and screwed in to the point where when I bend up the 15th fret on the B string, the low E string doesn't go out of tune. And that's it. So, that's it. Yeah, like I keep saying. I feel like I should say more, but there isn't any more to say. So, I hope this video has been somewhat informative for YouTube. I hope it's been kind of like, you know, like I say, it's very simple. But what you want to get your hands dirty, you want to dive into this kind of stuff and just, like, you know, have fun with it. You know, find what you like the most. You will go a long way to hurt your guitar. You really will. So just bear that in mind. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this vid. If you like the videos I do on this channel, please consider becoming a patron at Patreon. Links to that are down there, as well as links to my Bandcamp, where you can listen to all my music. Other than that, like I say, as usual, I hope this vid was informative. As usual, I think it, in my brain, it wasn't, because I'm an idiot and I don't like myself, but that's normal for me. But yeah, have fun, enjoy it, go slowly, and take your time, and everything will be all right. And it's just fun. It's just fun to find different things. You know, get to know your instrument, get to know your guitar, get to know what it where it lives. Yeah, it's really, really cool. Anyway, see you again. Goodbye now.